When Zoltan arrived back to the walls, he warned Hanji and Super Mechagodzilla Earth. Holy crap. Hanji, hurry up! And it's done. Zoltan's quick. You're faster than both me and Mecha Super Godzilla Earth. Go now. Okay. Zoltan ran as fast as he can, hoping that it was not too late to save his best friend. Back with the others, everyone can only watch in horror as Bagan towered over his opponent. Huh. You're weaker than I thought. And here I thought that you might be a worthy opponent for me to fight. But I will admit, you put up a challenge when it comes to my students. Now, I'll kill you, and I'll kill all of your friends and family. And no one will be able to stop me. Only one person will be able to stop me. But I'll find a way to take him down. Sir Flowers looked at Bagan, glaring at him. You actually kill her. Oh god. The person who is actually responsible on you being here? You're not a main monster. You're a coward. Bagan growled at this. How dare you speak to me that way? It doesn't matter. It won't be much of a threat. After all, you don't have a super form. Without a super form, you don't stand a chance. When Zoltan arrived, he saw that Bagan was charging up his beam, preparing to finish the Super Final Wars off. Zoltan grabbed a gun from Levi and aimed at one of Super Final Wars' wounds. He fired it, and instantly a new nuclear pulse ended up showing up from Super Final Wars, and his spine started flashing green. Bagan's eyes were widened. No. This can't be. Everyone watched as Super Final Wars' entire body started glowing green. And instantly he transformed. From once what he looked like Godzilla's singular, a gigantic version of Godzilla Ultima. His form and appearance changed dramatically. Now he looked like a gigantic version of Super Godzilla himself, but different. Sir Flowers' wounds instantly recovered instantly. Bagan growled at this. No, I was sure they didn't have a super form. How did you... Before Bagan could continue, Sir Flowers let out a mighty roar, loud enough that it shook the entire earth. You want to continue talking, or do you want to fight me, coward? Bagan growled at this. Fine. With super form or without super form, you're gonna die either way. Bring it on then, you overgrown weakling. The two glared at each other. Bagan still carried the size advantage. Sir Flowers didn't need size on his side. All he needed was pure power and luck. That's all he needed. Everyone watched as the fight resumed between Sir Flowers and Bagan. Sir Flowers ended up using his tail, and ended up shooting a fireball out of it. He ended up headbutting Bagan. He actually ended up setting him flying. Everyone was shocked at Super Final's new hidden powers. He was now powerful. He was more powerful than all of his ancestors all combined. Holy crap! He just sent him flying! Bagan ended up summoning his own abilities. Super Flowers ended up charging up his atomic breath. It was clearly a lot more powerful than it was before. Consider it was yellow with blue and red rays around it. Maybaggin ended up stabbing Sir Finals with his tail and ended up throwing him across the land. Sir Finals recovered almost about a second. Sir Finals ended up charging up his atomic breath again, hitting Maybaggin, actually injuring him. He ended up summoning a super punch, sending him flying. Sir Finals and Maybaggin ended up charging up again. Maybaggin's attacks barely did any damage to Super Final Wars. I'm getting so sick and tired of you. Sir Flowers ended up grabbing Maybaggin's horn or breaking the thing in half. Maybaggin roared out in pain. Sir Flowers ended up using Maybaggin's own horn against him. He ended up stabbing Maybaggin with his horn. With his own horn. Maybaggin roared out in pain. Sir Flowers ended up charging up his atomic breath. Maybaggin ended up charging up his own big beam as well. The two fired and they instantly backed up instantly. It was not just because they were backing up by themselves. It was a blast range of their beams combined together. Sir Flowers knew that Maybaggin's beam was more powerful than his own super beam, so he ended up summoning a super red spell ray atomic breath. That clearly pushed Maybaggin's beam back. Sir Flowers ended up roaring out to the sky really loudly and then punched the ground. It formed a large spiked rock and ended up piercing Maybaggin's skin. He roared out in pain. Everyone watched as Sir Flowers ended up destroying Maybaggin instantly. The tails had completely turned. Sir Flowers ended up biting onto Maybaggin's arm and ripping it off. He roared out in pain. Everyone was almost at the edge of falling off of their own chairs. This was one intense battle. And just like what Dark Dragon said, this was like one of the greatest battles in the history of the Mankaiju race. Besides the Superman got to Earthman Executor's great battle 1,000 years ago. Sir Final Wars and Maybaggin continued their battle. Their own battle was shaking the entire universe. Everyone was at the road of just freaking passing out. This battle was just so intense. Sir Flowers ended up biting onto Maybaggin's tail and ripping it off. How does it feel? Why, you... Sir Flowers ended up unleashing his stomach atomic breath. Everyone just flat out fall out from their chairs. Holy crap, when did he do that? And it formed faces of not just one, but 3 Godzilla faces. Sir Flowers was clearly not alone in this battle. He actually ended up sensing the powers of his ancestors, guiding him through this battle. His grandmother, his grandfather, all of his ancestors. He actually ended up seeing their memories. And this made Sir Flowers even more angry. the fact that this monster killed half his family, it just peed him off. And now he was gonna get payback. Sir Farms ended up firing his atomic breath, which ended up hurting Man Bagan. Sir Farms ended up grabbing Man Bagan and slamming him on the ground not just once, but 20 times, and ended up kicking him on the ground. Sir Farms ended up grabbing a rock and shoving it down to his throat. Man Bagan couldn't even breathe because of the rock in his throat. Sir Farms was clearly, like 100,000 times more powerful than his super form. Huh, I should use this thing often, Sir Farms said with a smile on his face. But then again, I don't want to overkill my enemies. Sir Farms ended up firing his atomic breath again. This time he blasted off one of Man Bagan's legs. He couldn't even walk anymore. Man Bagan actually tried to run away. The first time that he actually felt fear, it was right now. Sir Farms was actually going to do something that his father and his own god couldn't do. Kill Man Bagan. End his life here and now. He had decided that Man Bagan lived long enough. It was time to put him out of his misery. Sir Farms ended up firing his atomic breath again, hurting Man Bagan, stopping him from running away. Sir Farms ended up realizing that Man Bagan actually had 2 wings. Oh no you don't. Sir Farms ended up running him towards Man Bagan using his tail spikes. His spikes acted more like a claw, well, like a grabber. Like one of those arcade games that you see at an arcade game store or something. He ended up grabbing both his Man Bagan's wings and ripping them clean off his body. Man Bagan could no longer fly now. He was now stuck on land. And years after he looked around and saw that Super Godzilla Earth was hiding behind him, Sir Farms is more terrifying in his super form than his regular form. Dude, he said he'll... Dude, you do realize he'll only use that when it comes to powerful opponents like him, right? Sir Farms ended up running towards his enemy, grabbing Man Bagan's remaining leg and slamming on the ground. He then let go and then jumped onto his chest and ended up scratching the living crap out of him. Now I know how Kong feels. Oh god, I know how Kong feels now. Sir Farms violently placed his foot down on Man Bagan's chest. Man Bagan actually tried punching him off of him, but didn't work. And it just made Sir Farms even more determined to kill him.